Welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm Tony Clement, here with my special guest, Lord Conrad Black. He is the author of The Political and Strategic History of the World. Lord Black, it's interesting what you just said before the break. There's ebbs and flows to civilization. Obviously, when you talk about the Augustan period of the Roman Empire, for example, and moving into the creation of nation states, which you're doing by the end of Volume 2. So do you see it as well, that there is this ebb and flow of civilization, and what can we learn from that?
One does see it, and I wouldn't put it quite like that. It doesn't so much ebb and flow. It flows all right, but it changes, and there are somewhat identifiable variables that cause these changes. But the first point I would make, if I could, is progress is real. There is such a thing as progress, and we, living now as we do, are the beneficiaries of a great deal of progress since I started. The period I started in, I went as far back in Mesopotamia and in India and in China. These are the originating civilizations. And I went as far back as history is authentic. I mean, things that's just rank folklore. I'm not getting into that, I mean, it's fiction. It's interesting in a way, but it's not history. And so I go as far back as I can. So you start out in Mesopotamia and the ancient Jews and then the Egyptians, as well as the contemporary activities in India and China. And while human nature doesn't change much, it is not true that we haven't learned from anything. And in those days, what you had were very primitive clans and tribes with some sort of a chief, and usually some kind of ostensibly religious figure. If a strong leader could unite it in the same person, but in general they were separate people, and there was some competition between them. And we brought it forward to where we are now, where the whole population of the world is divided up between 197 national governments, if you count Palestine, the Vatican, and Taiwan. Mm-hmm. And they do have relations with each other, and there are organized methods of conducting relations between all these jurisdictions. And for the most part, it is a civilized operation, obviously, that not always. And no proponent of the concept of progress should be overconfident when you think that, I mean, I guess I'm a bit older than you, but I was a baby at the time. But within my lifetime, the culture of Goethe and Beethoven was in the hands of a group of, well, one in particular, lunatic, who massacred millions of people and plunged the world into war. So we mustn't get overconfident about progress. Mm-hmm, but if you take your image, if you take the peaks and valleys in this ebb and flow, the trend is upwards in terms of civilization, because people realize in practice that simple force has its limitations as a policy. But that's all we had in the earliest days. It was just, I'm going back 5,000 years now, but it's just one clan would say, well, look here, well, there are more of us than the others, and we have better spears or something, or our archery is better, so we're going to take them over and pillage them and rape their women, and the hell with it. And I mean, that's what governance and politics was 5,000 years ago. And it is not possible to sustain the view that there hasn't been progress since then. Now, unfortunately, along with the progress in the mental acuity of people directing collective institutions or jurisdictions like this, destructiveness has risen too. And of course, I guess that's the essence of the recent activities in the Middle East, to keep horribly destructive nuclear weapons out of the hands of a regime pledging to destroy another nearby people. Right. But the fact is, there is progress, and it is real. It's not an illusion.